Hello everyone. I welcome you all to e-Gyan online classes conducted by Dr. R.B. Patil, Mahesh PU Science College. In today's session, I'm going to start with the very interesting topic in biology, that is chapter 7, evolution. As the name says here, evolution. Here we are going to talk about how all the living organisms evolved. That is, how did they actually originate? Students, today we see a wide variety of life forms around us, be it plants or animals, starting from tiny bacteria to the huge organisms like elephants or whales or big trees, irrespective of their size, shape, or behavior. So, you can see that actually so many organisms have evolved. So, you must be wondering how all these came into existence. You must be having several questions regarding the origin of life. So, here we talk about the story of evolution. So, firstly, let me tell you what do you mean by this term evolution? So, evolution is a gradual change in the inherited characteristics of organisms over successive generations. So, students, evolution was not a immediate process that took place in just 1 or 2 days. It was a slow gradual change. So, these changes were inherited from by the successive generations, that is, it were passed from one generation to the next generation. So in what levels did these changes take place? Where and all were the changes going on? So we could see this process of evolution, that is nothing but the changes from the simple level to the complex levels also. That is, the changes were seen in the organization, biological organization, that is in the cellular level. Also, changes took place among the species, in the individual organisms, as well as in the molecular level, that is in the genetic material also. Okay, so here we are going to study how did this process of evolution take place, that is how actually these changes took place and in what all levels did they take place. So what do you call this study of evolution as? So evolutionary biology is the study of history of life forms on earth. So children, first let me tell you what are the concepts you are going to study in this chapter, evolution. So firstly, the origin of life, then the evolution of life forms, a theory. What are the evidences for evolution? What is adaptive radiation, biological evolution, mechanism of evolution, Hardy-Weinberg principle, a brief account of evolution, then the most interesting one, that is origin and evolution of man. So this is a very interesting topic, children, because you are going to study about our past, the history. Yes. So let us read it as a story, and from the exam point of view also it is a very important chapter with a weightage of around 6 marks. Okay. So first let us start with the origin of life. So before going to this origin of life, before posing this question actually as to how, when and where life originated and the way how complex organisms originated from simple life, the question arises about the existence of earth, that is where did all these living organisms actually exist. So we can see that they are present on the earth. So how did the earth come? Where did the earth come from? So first we have to discuss about the origin of earth, because the essential requirement for origin of life was the formation of earth and its atmosphere. Okay, so students, before starting the evolution of life forms, let us discuss the origin of planetary system. What is that? Origin of universe. Because where is actually the earth present? On the universe. So then we are going to study the origin of earth. Yes. So we could see that the human mind explored many hidden facts, and one of the interesting areas there was to know about the evolution of universe. Okay, so let me tell you something. When we see stars, we are peeping into our past. What do you understand by this sentence? I'll repeat. When we see stars, we are peeping into our past. So if you have observed, when we look at the stars on a clear night sky, we are in a way looking back in time. So I'm telling you that when you see the stars, you might have seen during the night times, you might have tried to count when you were small kids. You might have tried to count the stars. Yes. So when you see the stars, it is actually that we are peeping into the past. We are seeing our past. So what do you mean by this sentence? Still our distances are measured in light years. So you might be heard of this term, light years. What is this? Light year is nothing but the distance traveled by the light in a year. Okay. So how do we measure the distance of the universe? Universe cannot be measured in meters or kilometers. So the distance of the celestial bodies, that is the planets or stars, it is measured with the unit of measurement called as the light year. Okay. So how can we actually measure with this light year? Is it a scale or something? What is it actually, light year? So light year, in the sense, students, any of these stellar bodies, if you take, that is the stars, we can see that they actually emit out radiations, right? So because of their radiations, it is possible to see those planetary bodies. Yes. So now these stars have started to emit the light millions of years back. Okay, but that light is reaching us today. Okay, so understand the point that the stars have started emitting the radiations millions of years back, but today we are seeing those stars because those radiations have reached us today. Okay, so what we see today is an object whose emitted light started its journey millions of years back and from trillions of kilometers away. So today we are able to see them. For example, if you see a tube light, okay, or any objects you see near us, immediately we see them in our surroundings. Why? Because they are emitting out the radiations now. Yes, and it is at a very short distance from us, but the stars are at so far distance that to reach those radiations it is taking millions of years. We don't know whether that star is present today or not. Okay, so that is why we can say that when we see stars, we apparently are peeping into the past. I think this point is clear. Okay, so remember that stellar distances are measured in light years. And what is this light year actually? It is nothing but the stars have emitted radiations and those radiations have reached us today. Why? Because it was emitted millions of years back. So it took millions of years to reach us now. So that is why we are seeing them today. We don't know that star is present today or not. Is it clear? Okay. Then, so that is why we can say that the universe is very vast. Okay. Why I am telling this universe is vast? Because children, universe is very old, almost 20 billion years old, because those radiations which have emitted, if we measure those radiations, it is approximated that they are coming from millions or billions of years back. So that is why we can say that it is to around 20 billion years old. And what is the universe is actually made up of? It is made up of huge clusters of galaxies. So what are those galaxies now? Galaxies are nothing but collections of stars. So in one galaxy, if you take, you can find there are many different stars present in it. Also gases, dust particles. So they make up the galaxies. There are several such galaxies present in the universe. Okay. So considering the size of universe, you can say that Earth is indeed a speck. Now what do you mean by this speck? So if you keep a point somewhere in this, so here you can see that Earth is just like a minute dot on a board. That means Earth is just a very small, having a very small area when you compare it with universe. So that is why we say that universe is vast. Okay. Now you can say that it is presumed that the universe came into existence. Here we are first talking about the origin of universe, right? So we can say that, or it is presumed that universe came into existence because of a singular huge explosion. Remember this? Universe came into existence because of singular huge explosion. And what is this explosion called as? It is the Big Bang Theory. I think you have heard of this. What do you mean by this? Big Bang Theory. Think about it, students. So in the next module, we'll be studying in detail about this Big Bang Theory. So thank you one and all.